I learned a new word today. FOPO. Have you ever heard of it? We've heard of FOMO, haven't we? That's fear of missing out. But FOPO? Fear of other people's opinions. I was reading Michael Gervais' book, The First Rule of Mastery, and heard that phrase for the very first time yesterday. We're going to talk today about FOPO, fear of other people's opinions. Welcome to Thrive and Serve, the podcast where we talk about amplifying our impact by being the truest expression of self. Today, we're talking about FOPO, the fear of other people's opinions, that crippling thing that stops us in our tracks and prevents us from being that truest expression of self, from truly leaning in to that thing that actually amplifies our impact. So let's get stuck in. Take a deep breath with me. And let's begin. In 2013, I reached a point in my life. I was 39 years old and I lost what I considered to be everything I owned in the world. I had built a business to multiple millions in revenue. We employed 30 staff, we had multiple sites, and it was very successful, very profitable for a time. When that business went bust in 2013, I felt like the world's biggest failure. All of these people relied on me and I let them down. The banks, the suppliers, the employees, all of it. My family, myself, most of all myself. What a failure I am, Colin, and how rubbish you are. And in the aftermath of that, it was like a grief because I loved building that business. It was like grieving for somebody when they die, when they pass. And I really struggled to get over that because I labeled it as a failure. And I labeled myself as a failure. In the ashes of that, in the aftermath of that failure, I was doing all kinds of things to keep money flowing in, keep my self going and just surviving, right? Surviving. I had 3 jobs. I was teaching jiu-jitsu. I was working as a tech in a school. I know, crazy, right? And and I was a marketing manager for the World Jiu-Jitsu Federation, which is a big global martial arts organization. And all of them part-time, just kind of keeping things going while I was figuring out what I'm going to do next in this next chapter of my life. I had an agency where we would build websites and do marketing for people. And I would go into businesses with my suit on, and all like, professional, talking about how I can help them with their marketing. And almost, I felt like I was wearing a mask because I would share that I had built my own business to multiple millions in revenue, but I was frightened to death of sharing the fact that it failed. I wouldn't say anything about the fact that it failed. Oh, it went. And they would assume that I'd sold it and was sat on millions of pounds in the bank. And I just let them assume whatever they wanted to assume in those days because I was frightened. I was frightened of other people's opinions. That's the bottom line. I was scared to death. I had a conversation with, for a time I did mentoring in Manchester for the European Growth Trust. And what happened in that sense was I was a mentor for up and coming entrepreneurs in Manchester and the northwest of England. And I had a mentor myself as part of that process because it's a funded thing. You do it voluntarily and it's a way of giving back. Long story. My mentor sat with me over coffee. I remember it to this day in Manchester, and it was the first time that I'd shared my journey because she asked me, Colin, tell me about you. Tell me how you've got here to where you are today. And I shared my story and I broke down. I literally would have this well of emotion inside of me and broke down, shared just openly about the pain that I'd gone through, the loss that I'd felt. and the sense, the burden of it all being on me and all being my fault, and how I am such a failure at business, at what I was doing, because it all went to the wall. Ugh. Still brings up emotion. You can see it, can't you? Can you feel it? I can feel it. And I just shared it for the first, because I love this lady, trust her very, very much. And when I looked up, I kind of came back around and she was in tears. I was in tears. She was in tears. And she just kind of like mopped her eyes. She said, Colin, she put her hand on me. Colin, you really need to share that story. People need to hear that. They need to hear that. And I'm really grateful to her, because that sparked a journey in me, a journey of reconciliation, firstly with the failure. Napoleon Hill says that, and I learned this since, I didn't know it at the time, every failure carries with it the seed of an equivalent or greater success. Know that. If you're going through failure like I've done, know that it is an opportunity for growth. It is the thing that will be the making of you. No matter how small, no matter how big, you can reframe it, and there is a way through. The obstacle genuinely is the way. I am the person I am today because of that journey that I went through with that business. I am the person I am today because of that failure. So know that. Be encouraged by that on your journey. Everything that's in front of you is there for a reason, to teach you a lesson. Michael Singer says, the earth is at the place where souls go to evolve. You are here to evolve and to grow and to become the truest expression of self. The only way that you can do that is through experience, through trauma, what Buddha called like suffering, the cycle of, we're born, we grow old, and we die, and there's sickness and there's illness and all manner of things that can happen during the journey, and do and will continue to every single day that we rise, we draw breath, and we live this life. Know that in peace, in comfort. And then from that place, looking at what it means to be you. And then looking outwardly at what it means for other people. Because FOPO, getting over FOPO, really isn't about you. This is the crux of it. It's not about you. It's not about what other people think of you. It's about you overcoming those barriers that stop you becoming you, the truest version of you. So in that failure, in the aftermath of that conversation with that mentor of mine, I began sharing, just lightly and gently at first, because it's very painful, very raw, about that loss, and being honest about the journey I'd gone on, which was very exciting, very thrilling. It's thrilling to build a business to multiple millions. Wow, we're doing £1,000 a week right now. Wouldn't it be great if we could get it to 10, and then to 50, and then to 100? And working through those stages was thrilling. I loved it. I was able to put all of my marketing, business, understanding, experience, and knowledge into that project. And it was great. But then it came down the other side and it collapsed cataclysmically, and it all went right. But even that now, 10 years on, 11 years on, I can look at that now and go, wow, what a great lesson that was. I know the things that I would maybe have done differently, although I am in no doubt that I am in exactly the right place at exactly the right time, and everything is exactly as it's meant to be. And in sharing that journey of rising from the ashes, creating a very successful coaching practice where I get to have conversations with people all day, beautiful people sharing that light with the world. It's just joyous. It is. I feel so blessed. I feel so blessed. This is my work day, and I'm looking at the camera, talking to you, sharing this wonderful message of my experience, nothing more, my experience and interpretation. my invitation here for you is, what is that for you? What is your expression? What is your interpretation? What is your voice that you want to step into, that you know and feel called to step into? And here's the thing, the fear of other people's opinions really matters not. Not one bit. Not one bit. Before I'd even began to read Michael's book, I had a big Stephen Covey fan, and I loved reading the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. That book changed a lot for me early on in my journey in the aftermath of that business going bust. I think I read it first in about 2012, something like that. 12, 13, I can't remember. But those 7 habits really were one of the catalysts that helped me on my journey. And one of those things inside of that book, it talks about the sphere of influence and the sphere of control. And if you imagine, Michael talks about this in his book, if you imagine a donut, so a big circle with a little circle inside of it. The big circle on the outside is the stuff that you just can't control. You can influence it. Hey, don't go walking in front of that truck, but you can't control it. It's none of your business, right? You can't change the outcome or the actions that happen in that big circle. It's called the circle or sphere of influence. The smaller circle in the middle is called the circle of control. These are things in your control. These are how you show up, how you choose to show up, the intention you set for yourself, and the way that you conduct yourself every moment of every day. This is the only thing that you can control. We live in a world that is constantly in flux, changing, moving, everything, the molecules in your body, the breath in your lungs, the blood in your veins, the air around you, the planet itself is spinning at a ridiculous rate, flying at a super speed through space. The whole solar system, universe is in movement. The seas, the moon, the planets, everything is moving. Always, always moving. It's the nature of reality, and it scares the hell out of us, because knowing that movement is happening causes us to feel afraid. Oh no, I'm going to die. I need to hold on to something, right? We literally have that feeling, that sense of needing to hold on. We need to feel like we're in control somehow, because it eases our fear of death, our fear of uncertainty, our fear of the unknown. And it's awful. It's painful. We all feel it. I'm just sharing my experience in this, right? And our way to cling on, to hold on, is in these 2 circles. It's knowing that this little circle in the middle is what you can control. That is your business. Controlling the controllables is where you should live, spend your time, and give your attention and focus to. Control the controllables. What does that mean? That means how you show up in the world, how you conduct yourself in everything that you do. There's a saying, and I can't remember who said it, the way that we do anything is the way that we do everything. This is why making your bed, brushing your teeth, doing the small things mindfully, with awareness, consciously, being the best version of you is so important. It's so, so important. Because you are working in that circle of control, that thing that you can hold on to for comfort, for surety, for certainty. I know I'm giving you everything I've got. I know I'm trying my best to be a vessel for the great divine, to share a message. I know that. And if I allow any sense of, what will they think? Oh, Colin, you bumbling idiot. What are you doing? What are you saying? If I allow any of that to come in, then it's going to diminish the message, isn't it? It's going to diminish how I'm showing up for you, how I'm showing up for me. So I can control that. I can lean in and try to be the best version of me and be better today than I was yesterday. It's the only way to live. It's the only way to improve, to grow, and to truly be truest expression of self. So lean in to that. Lean in to what that means for you. What other people do is their business. It's not yours. Other people's opinions don't matter. They don't. They are entitled to their opinion. And there are layers to this, right? So what you have to remember and appreciate and realize is that when somebody comes to you sharing something, saying something, most times it is a projection of what's going on in them. They might feel afraid of this. They might be worried about this. They might be concerned about this. And so they're sharing that in the way that they communicate with you. Know that when you hear the message, don't instantly react, oh my, caught up in the emotion or the energy or whatever it is. Don't react in that way, because often what people say is not a reflection of us. Don't take it personally. Don Miguel Ruiz, The Four Agreements, another stellar book, 100% worthy of your time to read. One of those 4 agreements is to not take anything personally, because it's not personal. Even if somebody says, you're rubbish, this is rubbish. This content, Colin, this podcast, it's rubbish. I'm turning it off. It's rubbish. It's not a reflection of me. It's a reflection of you and where you're at in your journey. There's no such thing as rubbish. It doesn't exist. It's a perception. It's an illusion of how you view the world, how we all view the world. We make choices, we discern, we decide, we filter. I'm not going to listen to that. I'm not going to look at that. Not interested in that. Because we're all on different timelines. We're all on different journeys. We're all in different places. So it's very much a case of the right message, right time, all of that good stuff that we teach and learn in marketing. Your only job in all of this is to control the controllables, to focus on what you can be better at and how you can be better. You can be the best version of you that you can be, and to focus on sharing truest expression of that, being truest expression, and showing up in every conversation from that space, from that place of love, of compassion, of integrity, and of seeking to help others on their journey. So our goal here, I've talked a lot today about truest expression of self. In that journey, it's not just about us, because we are all connected. It's about all of us. The rising tide that lifts all boats. Because when I win, you win. When you win, I win. We all win. And so this raising, this elevating of consciousness is the collective goal that we all share. We seek to shine our light brighter in the world. And we seek to help others to shine their light brighter as well. And in doing that, we all shine brighter. There's a beautiful concept called Indra's net. And it is this vast expanse of jewels that cover out through all infinity. Connected, interconnected. Each jewel represents the soul of a human. Each soul is connected, bright, shining, beautiful. As one light shines, that light is reflected across the whole net, and all shines brighter as a result. This is a beautiful picture of what it is and what it means to be you in this body, living this life, doing this work every single day. So don't concern yourself with what others think. Instead, focus on you, who you are today, and how you are going to be better today than you were yesterday. Thank you for joining me today on Thrive and Serve. If you found this content helpful, please share it with someone who needs to hear it. And go, let your unique light shine in the world in the way that only you can. It's your duty. And remember, it's not about you. Take care. See you next time.